It's Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance in the Inland Empire. We are joined today by Mark Bulot, right?
Correct.
He is the president of the San Bernardino Valley Water District Board of Directors. And we're also joined by Ron Coates. He's the chairman of the board of the East Valley Water District. Where are your districts? We'll start with you, Mark.
Our district covers the area essentially from Yucaipa west to Fontana.
Okay.
It encompasses the cities of course, Fontana, Rialto, Colton, San Bernardino, Grand Terrace, Redlands, Loma Linda, and Yucaipa.
Got it. And you, sir, where are your territory, Mr. Coates?
East Valley covers all of the city of Highland, about the eastern third of the city of San Bernardino, and then some unincorporated county pockets of land that are located within our service area.
Could you, sir, describe for us, either of you, how the drought has impacted your areas of the Inland Empire?
It has diminished our available resource, but because we rely predominantly on water wells tapping groundwater, what has happened is we have reduced the storage in our reservoir. So we really haven't suffered from a lack of available resource.
But have you had to either go deeper to the extent that you are now going places that you had hoped you wouldn't have to?
Yes, in East Valley we've had to sink our wells deeper, which ultimately makes our electrical costs go up because you have to bring the water up from a lower level of.
Have your areas suffered from subsidence as a result of going deeper, where the ground collapses on itself?
That's a potential problem, but we're not to the point yet where that
Amen.
will occur.
And that's an issue that we've seen in the Central Valley, but not here in the Inland Empire. What happens to wastewater in your communities today? And when I say wastewater, I mean water that's used by humans in a variety of sources and ways.
Well, East Valley currently, we take all of the wastewater of our ratepayers and we convey it to the city of San Bernardino, and they do the treatment of it. Once they treat it, they put it into the Santa Ana River, and it goes down, and either Orange County takes some of that water and uses it for recharge in their own county, or it ends up in the Pacific Ocean.
Same for you, sir?
We are not currently a sewering agency. We've teamed with East Valley Water District.
So you
to
do it for
provide
them.
this.
So the bottom line is you are not keeping that wastewater home.
No, not right now.
It is either going to the ocean or another county. Orange County gets the benefit of it.
Right.
Well, you're looking to expand your portfolio of water sources, I guess you can say. And you've
Absolutely.
teamed up, which is good to hear. Talk to us about your recent purchase of land, which is known as, it will be known as the Sterling Natural Resource Center.
Well, we purchased land on the corner of 6th and Del Rosa in San Bernardino, actually Highland, excuse me. And we're going to take that land, and on one side of the street we'll actually build the treatment center itself, and most of that building will be underground. About 90% of it will actually be underground, so there's no noise and there's no smell. You don't even hardly know it's there. And on the other side of the street we'll have some percolation ponds where the water will percolate down into the basin. We'll have a community center that will be available for people to rent, just as our current headquarters building is now. We'll have an educational component. There's a high school across the street. They want to use our facility to teach people about water, and ultimately we want to be able to train our own workforce, people that we're going to need down the road. We will have them across the street, we can train them, and people that come through there between the high schools, San Bernardino Valley College and Cal State San Bernardino, they'll be able to come and learn about wastewater treatment and water in general. They'll be able to go anywhere in the country and get a job with a water agency.
So let's back up, if we can, and talk about the wastewater side. What will happen now, assuming you're able to build this treatment facility? Because you bought the land, that's a few $1 million, not chump change, but a few $1 million. But you need to now build that wastewater treatment facility, which I understand would cost about $128 million. Is that right?
That's the current estimate.
From where does that money derive?
Ron, you have the best handle on
Pass
this
it off
one.
to Ron.
Well, we're going to secure some grants from the state of California. for part of that. Some of it will come what they call state revolving funds financing, where they give you low interest loans. Some of it will come from developer impact fees, because we have many new homes that are on the drawing board right now in the city of Highland, and they have to pay fees for services that they will need. And so the developer impact fees will actually cover about 40% of the cost of this facility.
So let's talk about what happens once it's built. You hinted at it, but give us a sense. This wastewater will come in from both districts into this treatment plant. What will the treatment plant do?
Mark?
It uses a biological reactor. It's technology that's actually been around for over a century.
Oh, wow.
But the current refinements use now a membrane upon which bacteria and fungi are grown that actually decompose all of the solids after that.
Right, because human waste
So
is there and other elements like that.
Has quite a bit of organic material,
Sure.
shall we
Well
say,
stated.
and other grit and solids. And so the process first removes the large solids, and those are digested with essentially it's a bacterial soup.
Which is amazing. So you literally use science to digest, like you
it's
said,
it's a biological process.
the waste, the organic waste.
Exactly.
And then what happens? So the little bugs have eaten all the other little bugs, and what happens to the water on the other side?
Well, after that, it essentially has a reduced
Amount?
of solids and
Okay.
and bacteria and other
Right.
components. It's then filtered and disinfected prior to us being able to recharge it into the groundwater.
And that's what I want you to explain. Look, I didn't understand groundwater, and I've had to learn it, and it's fascinating. What does it mean that you're recharging the groundwater?
Well, groundwater is essentially the water that exists between the grains of sand underneath your feet.
So there's not a big lake under the ground.
No, there's a big reservoir, but the majority of it's filled with rocks and dirt and sand. So what we have is all of the little spaces between that would be otherwise filled with air are filled with water.
It's unbelievable to me.
And when
So
we put
you're-
water on the ground,
Yeah.
gravity will allow it to seep right down in and replenish our water table.
And that's the percolation that you were talking about
Right.
across the street.
Yes.
That the water, this disinfected water, then goes into these percolation tanks. Is that what you call it?
Ponds.
Ponds. Goes into the groundwater.
Percolates into the ground. And then we also have 3 other places where we're going to pump this water once it's treated, other areas where it'll percolate down into the Bunker Hill Basin.
And so 10 million gallons of purified water daily
Yes.
are getting pumped into the Bunker Hill groundwater basin? That's
Well-
a huge number, no?
Compar-
Relatively speaking?
Relatively large. It would be a fraction, however, of the total resources that we sit upon.
But still, it's part of the portfolio.
Absolutely.
And that's really the key to this conversation is your districts are coming together to find different ways to create water solutions. There could be desal, there could be groundwater, there could be surface storage, groundwater storage. This is another solution.
Well, we all have to remember now or realize that we live in a desert.
Right.
And
You said it.
drought is the new normal.
Right.
Droughts are cyclical in nature. They just go up and down, just like the stock market does. But we never know when the next drought's going to happen, how bad it's going to be. So we need to rethink how we use water.
When does this go online? Best case scenario.
Hopefully, the end of 2017 or sometime in early 2018.
Congratulations. Very forward thinking. We appreciate you joining us. His name is Mark Bulot. His name is Ron Coates. They're respectively with the San Bernardino Valley Water District Board, the East Valley Water District Board. I'm Brad Pomerance, Charter Local Edition.